Hello, everyone! Welcome back. It is a Sunday. I am your friendly neighborhood Prax, and welcome to the channel. I'm going to let my friends go around and uh, say who they are and introduce their characters and, one thing they're concerned about in this moment while I fix the transcript because apparently I didn't do that. Oh, there it is. Okay, there we go. Uh, so why don't we start directly above me on the overlay? Hey, Billy, how are you?
Hello. I'm great. I'm playing Tybalt the Bastard. You can find me on the internet at Bill of the Forest on a couple different things, but um, I, as well as my character, are concerned for their physical well-being as a demon explosion ravaged their body, and he has to fight someone for the um, leadership in the Dominion here in a couple of days. Even though it did get postponed, um, he still has to heal to make that happen. So there's a lot going on. Focusing on healing and recovery for Tybalt, but excited to get back into it and see all of this fallout.
So much Fallout. Um, you could almost even make an argument about it being a nuclear disaster. Speaking of Fallout and nuclear disaster, hey, Lynn, how are you?
Good, good. Yeah. Hi everyone. I'm Lynn, Shide, and tonight I'm playing Marozia. Yeah, you know what? I'm not worried about the demon. Demon's gonna demon. And right now, Marozia is just worried about, the blame game and avoiding crosshairs of probably everyone else that is been riled up by said probably 60 or so deaths that the demon caused in one night.
Yeah, there's a few. There were a lot of dead bodies.
Didn't know any of them, so whatever.
It's very public dead bodies. You
Eh.
know, a little messy. But hey, hey, Dan.
Hey, hey. So I'm Dan. I can be found as Uncivilized Dan pretty much everywhere on the internet. And I am playing Siraj, the everybody's favorite La Sombra, who just he's unworried. I don't see why you would ask about any concerns. Just because he happens to have the box in which the perpetrator of all these recent murders was up until just a few moments ago, dwelling within. I don't see why that would put me in any kind of trouble. I'm just satisfying my curiosity.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So curiosity is a curious thing.
Mhm.
Um, we are going to fast forward the clock a little bit. Um, 1 week from the eventful evening at the Elysium, where the morning after the city of Palermo awoke to all of the priests inside the city, well, the missing, and piles of ash across the altars at all of the churches, assumed to be the remains of those priests. It's a, well, people might say it would have been a statement, perhaps. You know, just a thing that might be a concern for others, perhaps. But you all had a very eventful night. There was violence, there was injury, there was problems, and then a whole bunch of priests died. And in that week, some people concentrated on their physical recovery from being ravaged by a box that may or may not have contained a demon. His word choice, not mine. Um, uh, And then you would have heard a number of things. Number one thing you would have heard is that while the city has been uneasy, it's been heavy, there's been an uptick in guard presence, a large number of people have been concentrating on, personal safety. One of the things you will eventually learn, well, you should know about the Sicilian population, is that we are judicious in our superstition. In the sense that we firmly believe in a lot of the major religious iconography, but we do not turn away from, shall we say, more folk arts and beliefs. And, if you talk to any old Sicilian nonna and you say, I forgot where I have lost this thing. I can't find this thing. I've pulled my house apart, I can't find this thing. She's going to tell you to pray to St. Anthony, because St. Anthony is going to find it for you. If you need to build if you need good luck to get a new house, bury St. Anthony in the yard upside down. He will help you with this. Lots of things that we do. We go and tend the graves of our deceased. But when every church in the city of Palermo has been desecrated to such a level, the population is tense. It's on edge. You can feel the pins and needles through, even during the night. You can feel the discomfort in the population as they begin to turn to other methods. Blessing, use of holy water around the lintels and door frames and windows, hanging peppers inside the window and hanging a crucifix above the door. Well, things that you would have seen already. But other, what's the word in English? Evil eyes. You see a lot of them in Greece. They're the eyes that are designed to turn away the evil eye. You see them also in Sicily, particularly in various other places. It is very, if anyone might be uncomfortable with religious displays of the, Palermo's not a great city to be in at the moment. But within about 3 days, you would have heard something else. In addition to the heavier guard presence, you would have seen a larger number of the militant monastic orders around the city. And word will have come that Gregory has called an inquisition. For the, massive number of deaths of priests in his, just the thing. You would have heard that, and then you would have heard you all, well, maybe not all of you, maybe not Tybalt, unless somebody told you. But you would have heard that that word would have come from Archon, from Lord La Sombra himself, that the demon had been removed from the island. But the church is still here, calling for a inquisition. And you would have heard, well, that this tension, this disconnect is both superstitious and now political. Because while Pope Gregory lost that little war with Frederick, he's trying everything he can to make himself look better in the press, calling an inquisition, detailing, how heretics are to be treated, tried by the church and then executed by the secular state. He's been doing a lot of soft power plays to show that, well, he got his butt kicked by a Sicilian, a half Sicilian, half German, who then went on to have a major win in the Holy Land. That doesn't mean he is powerless, and that you should focus in on, you should ignore everything else you see behind the curtain and pay attention to how great he is and support the church. So it has been a week. It is September 29th. And Tybalt. Also, Billy, I love your comment about what is the Pope doing? He's making Instagram posts about lifting weights and expressing crappy political opinions. I mean, you're not wrong.
He's trying to broadcast his strength.
Yep. All of it. Tybalt, it has been a week, so you have recovered. You are down to bruised.
Excellent.
That means that you no longer have any dice penalties, and you will have recovered full health by the beginning of, or the next night.
But my soft, peachy skin.
Well, that's a choice. What is your... I'm going to say, I said this to the other group, so I'm going to remind you as well. Remember that you recover willpower by acting within your nature, not your demeanor. So if you were, let's say, a pedagogue as a nature, then if you did something to try and explain things or try to introduce an explanation, teaching of anything, you would have recovered some willpower as well.
Okay.
But why don't we... Yeah.
Go ahead.
No, ask your question.
I'm just taking off my injury conditions right now.
Mm-hmm.
I guess I'm trying to understand more. So you recover willpower from acting as you would, given like the framework of your personality?
Yeah, within your nature, not your demeanor.
Okay.
So your nature is your internal actions versus your demeanor is your external actions. So someone who is, say, a survivor as with a nature but has a presentation of a demeanor of a politician, right? If they choose to be more survivalist over the political answer, that would give them more willpower back.
Not gonna lie to you, I left that blank on the character sheet because I thought that was like a flavor thing and not like an actual rule book thing.
Well,
So
what is the core underlying personality of Tybalt?
Brooding, mournful.
Is that his presentation to the world or his actual true self?
I feel like it's both of those things.
Okay. Think about it and come back.
Yeah.
It's all good. And I have one thing I have to do. So, that is that. And then let us begin with Siraj. Because Siraj... Where do we find you this night as night falls?
I mean, he'd be home. He's had a toy to study and play with for the past week or so, And then on top of that, the rumors that I'm sure were delivered to him by his faithful manservant, unnamed. And so he'd be mostly staying indoors. I mean, he'd go out to feed as needed as such, but other than that, he'd be at home. He'd be at home. He'd be studying the box, um, and kind of mostly, especially once word again got around that the demon was no longer in town, um, trying to just lay low. There's an inquisition about, and he's kind of a funny looking fellow with his blindfold and his shadows. And when people are on particularly on alert, like he get away with it with a lot of stuff when nobody's paying attention to anybody, but when the alert level is high, he knows to stay out of sight.
Um, but you said you were paying attention to the box.
Correct. Yeah, because he made sure to take that he made sure to take the evidence from the scene of the crime, which is the correct thing to do as far as he was concerned in this case. Nobody else seemed to be interested or even remotely knowledgeable about the box. He was the closest thing to an expert on shadowy, boxy related stuff. Well, or at least the closest thing to an expert that was also stupid enough to be willing to pick it up and go like, "Ooh, pretty." So, a little bit of column A, a little bit of column B.
I mean,
And yeah,
it is a very, very pretty box. So, my next question is, since you're studying the box,
hmm
can I get a roll from you, please? And thank you.
sure.
Uh, do, 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 do. This is just going to be straight intelligence occult.
Sounds like a plan.
Unless you
That was
have
a
some
good.
other thing you'd like to try.
No, no, that's a pretty good, pretty decent dice pool for me. So let's see how that goes. And difficulty 6 as usual, or
Difficulty 6 as usual. Um, there, unless you have some specialization.
no, no, not in this case. Ooh, well, that's 0. I think it balances out to 0.
Yep, no successes. So
At least not a bot.
it is not a
But
botch, but it is not a success. Um,
yeah.
so it is a octangular, not octangular. It is a rectangular words, rectangular ebony box with a very intricate inlay of mother of pearl in the lid. Very finely perfected inlay. The lining is of velvet, silk velvet on the inside, and it is had some connection to the occult, but it's eluding you at the moment.
Yeah, I'm gonna say Siraj is probably at this point again. It's been a week, and he's getting frustrated, and he's making the kinds of mistakes you make when you're getting frustrated, like going off on tangents, like sending his assistant out to ask like the different people in town who make the materials that the box is made out of. Like he's going in different directions, and getting to the point where he's a little frustrated. He's getting a little snappish, I think.
And I think what we find this evening is, as you're expecting your manservant, who is still nameless, to have returned, um, with perhaps after
He'll
sending
he'll
him,
get a name when he earns it.
yeah, exactly. The nameless are fine. Um, and instead of him returning, you hear a knock at the door, and you feel the weight of someone's shadows in this space.
Well, it'd be rude to make them wait, I suppose. And after making sure to sort of put the box, he'd call out. He'd call out a moment and kind of put the box away, cover it with some cloths, not like outright hiding it, but sort of like just not leaving it out, exposed out, to the open as he steps away, and then after a moment of realizing, oh, this nameless servant hasn't come back yet, with a deep sigh, will go and open the door.
Um, Opening the door reveals your new friend, acquaintance, buddy, Archon,
Ah,
with a slight look on his face.
Suraj, immediately sort of, gives a respectful sort of nod, half bow. Ah, Arkan, please. And he just simply opens the door and motions for him to enter inside, without hesitation. Like the moment he realizes was there, you are welcome.
He's going to walk in, wait just like inside the door for you to kind of close it. Again,
Hmm.
very traditional kind of spacing in Sicily. You have the small vestibule that opens into a courtyard, and all of the rooms are around the outside of the courtyard. Keep it naturally cool in the inside. Windows on the outside to the front are very small, but inside are all facing the courtyard to give you good, better airflow. And he waits
Hmm.
a moment for you to close the door, and he turns to you and says, "I bring word from our lord."
Oh, well. Then please do not let me delay you in delivering them.
Hmm. Good news. The demon is been summoned to Aachen and is not our problem.
There's a moment that his expression is like there's a mix of like yay, oh,
Oh.
like just that light slight bit of like, oh, I guess I won't get to like see the horrible thing. Oh well. Moving on.
Lord Lasombra is displeased at the presence of such on his island. Even more so,
As well he should be.
even more so at the public disgrace of this action, drawing the attention of the Kine and their church to his island.
I can imagine he would be. Yes, yes.
He has tasked those in his service who are of the bloodline of Hakim to find this traitor and remove them.
Ah, well, in that case, I have some measure of good news in return. And he immediately motions, please, come. And he takes him over towards the box, which he reveals with a slight flourish. This, as far as I understand, is where the demon was located before. I have been studying it. It's very difficult to find all the very details. But thankfully, it has only been what 1, 2, 3 days. I have perhaps lost count, but I am close. I am certain that I am getting closer to finding a mark, perhaps a maker's mark, perhaps something that could identify how this happened.
Hmm. In that case, I will instruct the children of Hakim to come to you for direction on where they should begin their search for this traitor.
And that's around the point where Suraj realizes, oh, hmm. On the plus side, very, I see. Well, I suppose there is no way to politely refuse them visiting me in that case. And if my efforts in any way can aid in fulfilling Lord La Sombra's will, well, I really have nothing to complain about, do I?
No, you don't. He has gifted you with such favor.
Truly, I am blessed by Allah and by Lord La Sombra.
Hmm. You do have
Well,
four
then,
nights.
yeah, great. You are just right ahead of the questions that I was going to. Excellent. Four nights, you say. Four. It's been one, two, three. No. Oh, yes, four
Fifth
more.
night.
Okay. Yes. Very well. Yes, yes. I will be sure to have answers for the children by that time.
Oh, no. Four
No.
nights. And the dead body of the individual who dared to act in such a manner on Lord Lassambra's island will be presented to him. Or yours.
Well, yes. Well, yes. I see now. I understand that perhaps I was. My experience with Lord La Sombra has been limited so far, and thus easy mistake to make to think that he would expect anything less than that. Of course, I shall deliver what Lord La Sombra wishes.
Allah's blessings upon you, my brother.
And upon you, brother.
And may the shadows hold you. And he will just fade through your walls in the shadows of your walls.
And Siraj will stand there for the better part of a minute and go, "This is my big break. Very well, here we go." And it just to turn his attention back to the box.
I have to be honest, for stepping away from the GMC and just in a person who enjoys the wonderful roleplay, I am here for Siraj's strong attempt at making a positive out of this situation. Don't know if it's healthy or not, but we're here for it.
You can choose to see things as opportunities or challenges. He's seeing this as an opportunity. Not everybody draws Lord Lasombra's direction quite so directly. It can be, it's an opportunity.
And we're gonna pan with the camera out of Siraj's house to Marozia's little villa. Little being relative to statement in term here. What are you doing this evening as night falls?
How long is it before the Tybalt's duel?
Well, it's been a week, and your dear friend George, the Knight Templar, has managed to secure a week. So it would be tomorrow night would be the duel. So tomorrow night would be the duel between Tybalt and his not friend Bernardine Veron.
Oh, okay. Well, can't really do much with the current situation, so I have to deal with this. This is the most time sensitive thing. So you know what? I will just go by gossip. How is Bernardine doing? Is prepping, good spirits, confident?
That sounds like a roll.
Yes.
That sounds like... Ooh. You're trying to get all of the information. And the gossip. I would say that would be... You could... Sometimes I don't think all the abilities translate well. I think this is going to be a charisma empathy.
Okay.
Unless you're being subtle about it.
I'll be subtle. Like maybe I'll get better. Maybe
In that
something that maybe
case,
is something on the surface, something that maybe.
yeah. In that case, you could use charisma subterfuge.
All right, I will do that.
Those are your options.
Charisma. Right now we're okay. Six is the.
Sorry, I was dealing with a 6 is the minimum. So 1, 2, 3, 4 successes. 4 successes. So where are you going to get this information? Who are you socializing with? And I will tell you what information you get.
You know what? I think who was the one I talked to at the
Um,
was it
Camelina Farana?
Rosalinda? Huh?
Or Rosalinda you spoke to at the Elysium.
Yes. You know what? We'll cultivate that relation, that new relationship, and we'll maybe she has heard things that I've been kind of out of the loop for.
So Rosalinda, again, she runs a theater troupe out of Teatro Bellinini in Palermo. She is, mostly doing comedies and moral plays, but mostly moral comedies, kind of. She would tell you, share with you the information that she got. And one of the things she would have known is, well, Bernardine is still hosting small gatherings at his palazzo, and attempting to use those gatherings to sway some of the more weak-minded of our brethren, promising things that he has not yet achieved or been granted the right to promise. Looking for support. Rumor has it he is also diligently practicing with his sword.
Taking care of the battle on all fronts.
Not the metal one in his sheath.
Unfortunately, that seems like it may be the most effective method, considering we have basically a stranger vying for the princedom here.
Stranger? What strangers are competing now?
Tybalt.
Ah, well, that is true. He's very standoffish. I've lived in this city for almost 50 years, and I have yet to meet him. I have heard of him. But he does stand a very impressive figure.
Very much so.
And both Eduardo and his friends are being very talkative about how positive it would be to have such a striking specimen as our prince.
surely one that will be in dire need of, how I say, actually managing this striking and imposing, but also willing for needs of help.
Mm.
I suppose that looks also attractive.
Strong, powerful, willing to aid those of his community that turn to him. I think all of those are strong qualities that one might want in a prince.
Yes, and I do have my existence in his debt as well. So
Mm-hmm. Debts are heavy things amongst us and our kind.
yes,
So I wonder, you knowing him best and all, at least amongst those that were there, what do you think of his odds?
I fancy his odds for the duel itself.
And afterwards? Do you think he will be, shall we say, amenable to persuasion?
Well, I would certainly hope so.
Mm.
She'll smile.
Well,
And who knows, maybe provide if he is generous with the help, could be good for us all. If he's not if he's a stranger, outsider, we can make it so that he isn't.
do I feel like I should be composing a new play? A heroic romance, perhaps?
Hmm. It's been however we wish, but it all depends on what happens tomorrow.
Mm. This is true.
This is
Then,
why you don't. This is why it's very difficult to make any sort of effective story out of sport. Sometimes things go wrong. Not the most dramatic thing, not the most exciting thing.
and have you heard the other rumors?
Which ones? It's a lot happening. All the dreadful. Is it all the dreadfulness? I mean,
Well, the church is, of course, moving in ways that we don't necessarily want, but rumor has it that Frederick is bringing the whole of his court to Palermo. This will be the new center of the Holy Roman Empire. Think of the arts, the beauty,
mm-hmm.
the patrons.
Yes. Think of the being able to set trends rather than follow them. Here.
Well, I feel that we're going to need a better dress for tomorrow, then, if we're setting trends.
Well, I imagine that starts everything Well, everything depends on appearance. Certainly, tomorrow's going to be have to be our best.
I'm thinking something in the red.
Oh, how appropriate.
Also, perhaps, contacting a few people I know and changing some bets about tomorrow's events.
Mhm. Well,
In that case, I will leave you this evening.
yes. Well, I hope that this all this will be a new auspicious cycle. Leave the dreadfulness that happened, and upward.
Yes, I think that's a wise plan. A new idea, a new reaching for the stars. And perhaps just a small romantic ballad to get in preparation for tomorrow night.
Always good. You know what's best.
I will leave you to it then. And she will take her leave of you. One thing she would have made sure that you knew
Mm-hmm.
is that Tybalt, have you been that Bernardin is being very, political and public in his actions. Tybalt, have you been that public in your actions?
Absolutely not.
So before she leaves, Rosalinda would ask, since you know him so well, would you perhaps be willing to do me this small favor?
Mm-hmm.
And she'll hand you a sealed roll of parchment. Just a small note for our future prince, if you happen to see him tonight.
Any hint what's in it?
My support.
Mm-hmm. Well, wouldn't hurt. Certainly, he will be flattered.
As he should be. All men should be flattered by us.
Absolutely.
Good
Well,
night.
then, actually, yes. Well, actually, you did. You'll have your answer maybe sooner than you thought. I was planning on paying him a visit, see how he was doing.
You seemed very concerned about
Hmm. Well, just keeping an eye on things. Make sure no surprises for tomorrow.
Yes, why? We don't want any surprises. They always lead to, apparently, inquisitions.
Or a grievous injury, but, minimize what we can.
Ciao, Marozia.
Evening.
She would let you go. So where are you going from Rosalinda's then?
Well, I'll find out wherever the hell Tybalt calls his lair right now.
Oh, he's up the mountain.
Mm-hmm.
On the outskirts of town. Tybalt,
Yes. doesn't make it easy.
Uh-uh. Tybalt, you are feeling better.
That's great to hear. Um, of all of the natures and demeanors, which would be the same in this case, the challenger is most suited to him and his background.
Then yeah, I would say you would at least recovered 1 willpower if you spent any. Based on just previous actions that you've done.
I don't think I spent. Well, no, I think I did taking damage, or from the demon attack.
Oh yes, you took willpower damage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So you can fill back in 1 of those bubbles of willpower. But Tybalt, where do we find you this night before your duel for power and authority on the island? Or at least in the city of Palermo.
Brooding on a broken wall of his on the ruined fort in which he resides, um, sitting in a large arched uh, Roman-built window overlooking the sea.
Well, you have been mostly, dealing with your own and left mostly to yourself. You have had 2 guests in and out in the last week. One is Duardu, and the other is his friend, the green turban, who still has not introduced himself.
What was his presence there? Did he make? Was he asked his name and refused, or was it not?
Oh,
Or was it like cleverly disguised?
If you ask his name, he's just gonna make jokes around it.
Okay.
Remember, he's the gentleman who said that you need a better PR.
Uh-huh. Weird coming from a person who won't reveal his name.
Names have, are silly little things that are interchangeable. But if you have one, you need to use it to good advice and good usage.
And then what brings you here?
I have news.
Write it down, leave it here, and I will read it when you depart.
Very well. I look forward to you knowing the truths. And he will pull a scroll that's already been rolled and sealed with a flourish and leave it for you.
You could have just left this.
But of course
You didn't
not.
need
I
to
needed to
say
make sure that
anything.
you're doing well, my lord and future prince. Your duel is tomorrow night. It will be quite pleasant. Duardo and I have a bet already on you, and the current odds are 6-1.
I'm not a big player of the odds.
I want the return on the investment, and Bernardin is such a ponce.
What does that word mean?
In this instance, I am using it to express the opinion that Bernardin Veron is a lying, manipulative asshole with a stick up of his butt.
Are you the only one who thinks this?
Probably not, but considering how many people he's invited to his little dinner parties in the last week, and, promising things that he has not yet have the power to promise.
I've known those types of people in the past.
He has also
They're
been
like
spending
smoke on the wind.
He is training, I guess, one might say, to engage with your lordship in single combat.
Well, he's accepted an offer and the challenge, and he will be treated with respect in that nature until he gives me reason not to respect him. I will not boast on something that has yet to happen.
Well then, I'm sure that things will go very swimmingly.
Well, hopefully none of us will be swimming. Hopefully this fight ends without any major injuries and he submits in an honorable fashion.
He's a Ventru.
What does that mean?
They don't submit to outsiders. They have this whole clan thing about domination. Literally, it's in one of their abilities.
Thank you for bringing that to my attention.
You might want to think about that.
Well, you have earned a little bit longer stay in my keep. If you wish to tell me the things that you had written down, you can feel free to tell me.
Good. The church is called an inquisition. There are a bunch of people coming into the city to hunt down anything that may or may not be tied to this demon. Lord Lasombra is not pleased. He has called a hunt on the individual who summoned that demon to this city. And I and my brethren have been given permission to hunt them down.
Well, maybe all in the end of this, the locality will learn that this religion is a sham, and perhaps they will turn to the true gods, Odin and Thor and Freya.
And he kind of like looks to you, looks to Dwardu, looks back to you. Gods are very complicated things.
But there are several of them, and it is nice to give them separate personas and not weave it into some strange thing as facets of the same one. I've never understood that.
Perhaps why these Christians have so many saints.
Call them what they are then. Call them gods.
Calling something a god is very complicated. Have you had the pleasure of meeting Lord Mithras?
Does not ring a bell.
Have you heard of the god Mithras?
I'm open to being enlightened.
Very popular about 1,000 years ago. Only beat out by these Christians because he had the better marketing campaign. PR is important.
If you're a god,
Yes. Lord Mithras now rules all of Avalon. He is a Ventru. Worth following, kind of. Known for his hatred of the Tremere and his very violent reaction to traitors.
well, perhaps then we have something in common. This Mithras and I.
And there's a look on his face is like, well, if you want to go meet him, I'd go right ahead. I'm gonna stay away. But also, side note, fun things. I think you'll do well.
Thank you for your vote of confidence, but I'll perform to the best of my abilities for me, not because people put money on my name. I understand it makes me difficult to ally with, but I cannot be untrue.
No, it makes you very easy to ally with. You are not going to try and manipulate me in a manner that will be a lie. I know exactly who you are, and knowing who you are means I know how my actions will work. It's the same thing with my friend Dwardu here, and he kind of pats Dwardu on the shoulder, although he does have to reach up. Dwardu, again, is tall, not as tall as you, but you have, certain advantages after death that Dwardu didn't have. He just was naturally tall for the time. So he's like 6.5 feet tall, as opposed to, you, who are, what, 7?
Unholy gargantuan, yeah.
Yeah. And as part of that, it's like, I don't get a good vibe off of this Bernardin. There's something about him, besides his shiny ventureness, that upsets me. I just want to punch him in the nose. You know how sometimes you look at somebody and you go, you have a very punchable face?
I have that feeling often.
Right? And if you look at Bernardin, does he not have a very punchable face?
He very much so does.
Someone with that kind of punchable face is always lying about something.
Trying to convince everyone around him that their face is not as punchable as it would seem.
So where is the lie? That we have to figure out. But you have training to get to, and I have politicking to do for you, and it sounds like you have a guest that isn't me.
What?
Have a good night! And he's gone.
And then he will remove himself from that arched window and begin skulking around about his own premises to see who else is there.
How are you approaching the premises, Marozia?
I imagine slightly awkwardly because this is. I'll be honest, it's none up to our usual standards, so trying to figure out if this is a this is internally, by the way, but the whether or not this is just a where he stays or it's just a sort of rundown ruin. He's never been here, so
It is a rundown ruin.
Mm-hmm. Oh, also, Marata did look at the note on the way.
Oh, it is an invitation of her, a statement of Rosalinda's support, full of mild flirtation, but can you roll me a wits etiquette? Marozia? Ooh, reroll that 10.
10, 10, 8.
So four successes.
4.
you are familiar with the kind of flirting that she's put in here. This is the kind of like performative flirting that someone in retail or, food service does in an attempt to get a bigger tip, right? Like
Yeah. Oh, yes. Yeah. Yeah. Yes. Yes.
we've all done it. it's
Mm-hmm.
it's the, you know, I'm going to flirt with someone, flirting with the older woman, the young guy who flirts with the older woman behind the counter, not in any way that's serious, but to make her feel better so that he can get a better, maybe a better deal on something, or the younger woman who's going to flirt with the older guy, who both parties know there's no actual, there's nothing really sexual going on. It's just to be like, make someone feel better about themselves for that little bit, and therefore be
Yeah.
more willing to. Yeah, that's the level of like mild
Just
flirtation
live
that
in
she
the
put in here.
yeah, just live in the pleasantry as like um artificial as it may be. It's fun.
Hmm.
All right. Cool. All right. I will. Is there a door? Is there a door in this place?
Well, there's a big portcullis, um, and you can, uh,
Very poorly defended, almost a ruin, very few usable rooms. So you could walk in if you wanted to.
You'll walk in. Just Tybalt.
Oh, it's you.
Oh, you are here. This is. I thought I had the wrong.
Run down the ruin. You don't have to say it. I know what it is.
And how are you recovering? Um, I apologize that your heroics brought you such a dire injury.
I would not categorize it as heroic, just pragmatic. It was the objective, because what would have happened if that did not transpire? Something much worse. Yeah?
Well, I imagine I would handle that way worse than you would.
Yes, but there are also things that you handle way better.
And exactly, how are you feeling about tomorrow's duel? Ready for your upcoming elevation? Say.
I treat it as any other day, not particularly momentous. I don't like to feel a buzz about things that have yet to happen.
There's like
So
there's like a little like nose scrunch from Maurizio, just like, oh my God.
what was that face? You made the face just now.
Can you answer me one question?
Just one?
Yeah, one.
Okay.
For now. This could lead to other questions, but I just want just would you mind indulging my curiosity?
I'll do my best.
Why the Prince of Here? Why this job? Why this position?
And I suppose because something deep down wanted to aspire to something. And I saw an opportunity to make some sort of change because I can't brood in my castle forever. And I really didn't like that guy.
Hmm.
I'm not saying I'm going to be great in the position of power in the event that I do win, but Feel like I would be better than that guy. Maybe I'm wrong.
How many well-wishers have you had so far?
You and one other one, I forget what he called himself. Green Turban. Um, Maybe he didn't say his name. I should be better about that.
Hmm. Well, I
I really
don't.
have no idea outside of the people who have come to wish me support in person, which are two people.
Well,
Well, three if you account who was with him.
I certainly don't doubt your prowess. I mean, you are rather large and quite strong, and evidently pretty sturdy. I don't doubt that you can handle yourself in a martial duel, but your opponent is taking multiple strategies, and the route he's taking maybe is more effective in the long run. He has been glad-handing and meeting nonstop.
And there's a shame if all of that effort goes to waste because he agreed to a duel with a very specific rule set.
Hmm. Now, what I'm worried about is, despite your victory, you're winning this duel. You might not be out of trouble.
I can't recall the last time I was out of trouble.
Well, consider it more of a imminent, direct situation.
Hmm. How direct, how imminent.
Well, you would just be prince, title, nothing, and maybe eventually, maybe they once all the chairs are in place, you know, do away with you. Long death, long, slow, ignominious death. And you wouldn't be able to do what you want to do in your position. Have any sort of change.
I feel like no matter what position you are in, if you have someone that you report to, you're never really free. Always shackled in one way or another.
All right. Let me see if I can. How can I word this? You know how you see a dead animal on the side, correct? You see all the
Often.
animals that it's not just there. It doesn't just wither away into nothing, right? You have
Okay.
crows. You have all sorts of vermin picking away at it until it's bone, and then bone goes away, right?
Okay, I'm getting the picture you are putting out there. Are you trying to tell me that I am the dead animal?
Yes, exactly. You're the dead animal.
My cat is vocal. Uh, well, for the crows to pick at the animal, it has to be dead first. All right, I understand that I'm already dead, but as long as the animal is active and can defend itself in some way, shape, or form, that would keep the crows at bay, yes?
But if you were infirm without knowing it, so what I am saying is it would be in your benefit to ally, to socialize with others. At least attempt to play the game. how it's played here.
With whom? With whom would I ally?
She'll kind of she'll be like she'll make a gesture and just kind of like roll her eyes a little bit. It's like me and the people I know. We
I do not share your skill for pointed and influential talk.
but we can also help each other.
I feel like you're about to ask me a favor of something.
No, have me help you. Have us
No,
help you.
I am not in a position to say no, I suppose, but and we, I suppose, I can't make the best decision as to how because I cannot see what you see.
And my position is precarious. I have a sire that wants me dead, and it would do me well to have allies. Consider us partners in benefiting from our volatile situation.
That is an interesting story. I would not have assumed that of someone so skilled in speech. Why would your sire want you dead?
Oh, consider it mutual hatred.
Hmm.
We had a falling out of sorts. The box was evidence of his distaste for me as well.
I'm starting to understand a bit now. Has your sire tried anything in
Wait. I need a roll from Marozia.
Mm-hmm.
That is manipulation,
Yes.
subterfuge.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Uh,
That. Sorry, have to cut in on
no, no,
that
no, no.
one.
That's good. I am. She is. No, no. That's perfectly fine. That's actually. All right. So four. Okay.
You
So that's
have
another.
2 successes with a 10 to reroll.
Yes.
Oop,
Eh.
3, reroll a 10. 4 successes. Tybalt, you get to choose if you're going to try and get a read on her.
um
It's
I feel like he's not going to try to read. I
then
feel like
Oh no.
because of the events and the sincerity in which it was spoken, he will take it as honesty.
yes. And the lie stands with 4 successes. Continue. Sorry.
What else has your sire done?
um, Stranded me, imprisoned me on this island.
There are ways off this island. None that are pleasant.
Certainly, if I had one that wouldn't have killed me, I would have done otherwise. Well, here it stands. We've wronged each other for decades, and straw broke.
Mhm.
I assume that it probably would have killed, probably would at least taken out you and probably a few others if I wasn't as vindictive as I was. And getting yourself in this current situation, but provided you win, and I am sure that you will win, we can help each other, and came with a little bit of a gift of sorts. And she'll hand you the scroll.
Oh, what this is?
Mm. Friend of mine. Invitation.
Hello, pointed out. That seems too fancy. What? First off, was there a seal? Secondly, was it broken? If there was one.
It was tied with a ribbon. It wasn't sealed.
Okay. Cool.
Question of whether the ribbon is still there is for Marozia.
I think she'll say, but I think if you want to, like, it's like, well, I have to check. I have to check everything. Considering the last time I brought in a mystery parcel, it didn't turn out nearly as well. So, pardon a little bit of paranoia, just in case.
Hmm. Okay. So, question for you. I have this thing in my hand, an invitation.
Mm-hmm.
What does this mean in the big picture of, I guess, what does this mean?
Well, you can consider it a sort of political, the beginnings of a political army of some sort. Your side, provided player cards, right? You can fight off any sort of machinations that your opposition may have, and you could keep your position and flourish in it.
And
Considering everyone that I know in our circles know the ins and outs of the political situation here, social situation, and the fact that this place may be more important than initially thought with the so.
hmm. Well, all of this depends on whether or not I win. So, this means nothing until that moment.
Don't take this as any sort of insult or insinuation of weakness, but would you consider going to a more secure location heading towards the event? I mean, you never know.
What did you have in mind?
I mean, you could stay at my villa. I have enough guards. It's well watched. It's in the city. Has a door. And
Do you
you might, and plus you can get acquainted with the comforts that the city can have.
do you honestly think someone would come here and try to give me a disadvantage to the duel tomorrow while I am indisposed, while the sun is out?
Of course, yes. I mean, it is for the Prince of Palermo, of course. High stakes.
How long does it take to get there?
Not very long.
And more importantly, is there something I could sleep in that is appropriate for my size?
We can make arrangements.
You must have a lot of trust in the people that work for you.
Well, I survived, so it certainly beats nothing.
That is not a bad idea. Let me gather some things.
And while Tybalt gathers himself to, spend the day in a location with a door, we are going to take the break for the evening. So this is the perfect time to stretch, bio, refresh yourself, refresh your beverages, and, place your bets on either Tybalt or our venture friend. I'm sure everything will be great. And so we'll see you in a little bit, everybody. Hello, everyone. Welcome back. We hope you're refreshed, you stretched, you bioed. And last we left off, Marozia was inviting a gentleman caller back to her abode. Um, in her, and he, because she has a door. But let's pan over and see how Siraj is doing.
Siraj's cat wrangling. There we go.
That's
Hi,
okay.
hi, sweetheart.
Hey, buddy.
Oh man, I
I
won't
love
put you down.
cats.
So Siraj is. I mean, is this still the same night, or is this the night after? Is this going to be the night of the
This is still
duel?
the evening. This is still the evening before the duel.
Okay, okay. So, oh, this works out great because I'm looking for Marozia. Um, I'm assuming Marozia is heading back home.
Mhm.
Would it be fair to say that Marozia would have indicated to Siraj how to get in touch with her, where to find her
Well, I mean, you walked
after
her
they had such a
home.
lovely evening out finding? Yeah. Oh yeah, I
Yeah.
did. Yeah. So I know
But
exactly
I
where to
think
go.
she
Okay, great.
gave the invitation, like if you need anything else. Yeah,
Hmm.
I'd be happy to.
Great. So, I mean, yeah, up to the storyteller how the timing works out on that, but Siraj is definitely heading to Marozia's place to try and
Everybody,
he's got some questions.
everybody in one place. Everybody in one place.
So
Party at
I,
Marozia's.
so the question is, Marozia is. I think can I get you all to roll all three of you to roll me a d10 because I think this is just going to help.
Okay. Oh, okay.
Yeah, this works. So, Marozia, you are walking in the gate of your palazzo at the same time that Siraj is coming down the street to your palazzo. It just happens that way as you both roll sevens. And Tybalt is a little bit behind you, still like half a block behind you, kind of thing. Um, Maybe not quite that far, but just enough so he's out of like torchlight, right?
Mhm.
And then Siraj, because you don't have this problem, you would see him in the dark. There's this 7 foot tall vampire walking towards Morozia's, but you and she will get to the door first.
To be fair, I did put my hands all over that 7 foot tall vampire like a week ago, so
Yep, this is true. You did.
yeah.
You put not just your hands, your shadows.
True, true, true. We had a moment.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and yeah, Marozia, you would see Siraj is not particularly trying to be stealthy or hide. I mean, any more than this just usual, the shadows bend towards him, etc., etc. So he does cut a spooky figure on his way towards you, but his expression is friendly and
Mhm.
smiling. He's
Mm.
thrilled. He's having a lovely evening, and he seems quite thrilled
Mhm.
to notice your presence, or rather, because he's still got his headband. He's
Mhm.
walking right towards you,
Mhm.
um, looking as if he's looking in your general direction. But he hasn't called out. He's just kind of like walking towards.
Oh, Siraj, pleasant to see you here.
Ah, Lady Marozia, great. I was truly hoping that the footsteps I heard were those of the lady of the house. I hope I do not
I was
find
too.
you leaving, but arriving.
Oh no, you've actually caught me at a opportune moment. I have just come back from some business. And what do you know?
Oh,
Two gentlemen callers in one night. My husband is going to be incredibly upset. And she'll smile.
yes, but I assure your husband he has absolutely nothing to fear. I am a man of God, and I merely came over to find a few. Well, if you have a moment, I do have some questions about that. You remember the box Yes,
Oh, no, yes, the box.
yes. But perhaps we should discuss inside.
Mm. Yes, well, we have one guest, so two guests will not be a bother at all. So can make the arrangements. I can have the house take care of what Tybalt's arrangements, and we can be seated, and we can all be a good social group. So
Absolutely
I'll invite
wonderful.
everybody in. Yes.
Yeah, I follow inside, or allow myself to be led inside, rather.
Mhm.
I feel like because you guys arrived there sooner, and perhaps Tybalt lost sight of you, he will go to the spot where he last saw Marozia, and I'm is it is there tight living quarters where a lot of like villas look the same?
Yes, it's one of the things that if you have the street. So the interesting thing is the street view is almost all, unlike in the United States where we put distinction on like the curb appeal. In Sicily and in Italy for a very long period of time, the theory was have all of the street view be the same bland wall and just have a door at random intervals, and then thieves won't be able to know which house is which. And then you would just go inside and it would be in vestibule, and then in after the vestibule you would open into like an open air atrium and have multiple rooms off of the main room and then have multiple stories that would go up, but like the wall the
Oh no!
street
Oh no!
walls are just like all bland. So if you
Oh.
want to see if you
So
can
Tybalt
figure out,
won't know.
yeah,
Oh, the architectural childproof lock is
there is that unfortunate problem.
Hmm. Um, he'll just he'll stand outside and look to see if he can see any discerning um, differences that would indicate that Marozia lives in this one versus the one next door.
Did you leave the door open?
yeah. Well, just like I wasn't aware that Tybalt was,
Yeah, because I think,
and like yeah, it's not like yeah, like I don't know he's coming, so it's like it's yeah. I think she'll leave it, but I think the momentarily distracted by Siraj is, but let her to wait. But like I think yeah, the door's open, and assuming that you'll follow and go in,
Well, if it's
Well,
open,
of
it's
course, I'm
open.
going to leave
unless
the
there's
door open.
another
There's
one.
7-foot tall vampires out there.
Yeah, unless there's another, unless there's multiple doors are open. Like, oh shoot, which one?
not this late at night.
Not this late night. Yeah.
Then he'll walk back through the doorway, walk in. This is it looks nice. It's a little small.
That's
But if you
Suraj will immediately look up at the sound of Tybalt's voice. Ah, the future prince here too.
Yes, we've been blessed by his presence here as well. Get ready for
oh,
tomorrow.
uh,
Can never be too careful.
Suraj, nice to see you tonight. It has been a week. How
That's
have you been?
It has indeed. It actually took me a moment. I thought it had only been a couple of days. It's a good thing. It's a good thing we have seen. Truly, Allah has blessed us that we have seen each other. For otherwise, I may have missed it tomorrow. I have been so very busy. Do you know? I have been trying to find answers to the things that are happening around us. I have tried to find answers in what is inside that, and he turns to face Maroche. Inside that box, I have looked inside the box, outside the box, through the box. I have tested everything I can. I have looked at the symbols on it. I, 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 I have a question. I have a question, but first I need you to know that today I have been visited. I have been visited and I have been given a mission. I have been given a mission that is all my cat. Hello. I have been given a mission that is all but holy. A mission from Lord La Sombra himself.
Oh, the Sombra.
Indeed,
Really?
indeed. An opportunity, no less, for not only myself, but truly we are blessed by Allah to be brought all under this roof together. For what better way for the future prince of the city to impress Lord La Sombra than by solving a mystery? For you see, Lord La Sombra is understandably somewhat irked at the fact that this creature, this thing, was in the city, was in these lands. Yes, it caused death, it caused problems, but most of all, it was in lands that are blessed by Lord La Sombra himself. And well, he has tasked me with a simple question to bring back the one responsible.
Mm.
And he has been generous enough to give us a full 4 days or 4 nights
4 days.
to deliver this. Yes, yes. So I figure tomorrow is dual. Yes, yes. We take care of that quick, and then we can focus on who gave you this box again. You said that your sire.
Yes.
Yes.
So come on. Given a
Good,
box,
good.
sent the
Because look,
box.
I think Lord La Sombra.
Sent me the box.
Well, yeah, right. Sent you the box, but it is definitely from your sire. Yes.
Yes.
Great, great. So the good news, and wait, before I forget, I meet so many people. You hate your sire, yes?
Yes.
Okay,
He did.
good, good.
I
Wanted to
have
be
to
sure.
assume that the box was partially meant to do away with me and get a few other benefits. So feeling is mutual.
Mm. Well, then I bring the best of news. Lord La Sombra likely wants your sire dead too,
Oh, good.
which means we all here have a great opportunity to find your sire
Yes,
and kill him.
that would be bring me a great deal of it would make me sleep better during the day, knowing that he wasn't out there roaming to attempt again.
Precisely. And
Maybe
so
not.
yes, I do apologize for coming into your house and
No,
bringing you news
absolutely
of
not.
a future bloodshed, but at least it is
Well,
news
it
of
would
future bloodshed that a place that I hope
no,
will please you.
knowing that Lord the Sombra and you are looking for does bring peace of mind to me. So thank you for that.
Yes. Well, on that note, I was rather hoping perhaps you could sort of point me in the general direction. 4 days, you see.
4 days.
Yes.
Um, I do not know where he would be on the island. I just know that he was last in Rome, the last correspondence we have, and that I'll granted that was quite a while ago with our current ill feelings for each other. Doesn't happen often. But he did escape through the aqueducts, so who knows where he is at this moment.
Well, that is less useful than I had hoped. I am going to be honest with you. Do you have any other ways of reaching or finding him?
He'll I can't think of anything at the moment. Usually it's been one-sided. He summons, has me do some errand, and that's it. It's a frosty necessity.
That is another challenge, truly. Another challenge which I choose to see as an opportunity. I choose to believe that if we cannot reach him, then perhaps that it's a signal and a sign that we must make him reach us. Yes? If this box was an attempt, perhaps to hurt you, to destroy you, perhaps he is upset that he has not achieved his purpose. Yes.
Yes, I
What is
imagine
that
reprisal
saying?
will
They
come,
say.
but he is patient.
Yes. Mm.
And I don't want to spend the rest of the next couple of decades looking over my shoulder
Well, they
for
do
any
say that
reasons.
the best kind of revenge is to live, or perhaps unlive, your best
Hmm.
existence.
Absolutely.
Do you think perhaps? Well, why does he hate you so? Because I understand the question. You see, if we can maybe make him lose that patience, if we can make him lash out, if we can make him expose himself, yes,
Hmm.
can you piss
Well,
him off?
I can. I imagine I can. I can imagine that the political situation here is enticing enough, and my continued success at the shipping and trading business probably irks him, even though he does benefit. But knowing that I do such a good job with little of his interference, could possibly. Although, although I will say that if our good friend here does win tomorrow, being closely aligned with the new prince probably would bring some great amount of frustration.
Well, then it seems that it is in not only your interest, but in the interest of all of us here to make sure that our friend wins tomorrow. And of course, by giving him our full support, yes. And by
Yes.
making sure that you, especially, are seen as allied with him.
I mean, I certainly do not mind being, you know, as bait of some sort. But I'd rather go in knowing that he was targeting me rather than have it happen sometime in the future unknowingly. And having people on the lookout would also be helpful. So I'll help you in any way I can in that matter, if it is putting my life on the line to bring him out of the darkness.
Yes, look at that. Look at that. I will be sure to put in a good word with Lord Asombra once we succeed here.
Well,
And then
if you could put a good word with Sombra, of course, better than
and
bad word, of course.
and he sort of turns in Tybalt's direction and goes, and you, sir, I know this smacks of politics. I'm not a big fan of that myself, but I assure you, this is less politics and more of what is the word? A hunt. Yes, we are laying out a trap. We are catching a predator in what will soon be your city.
And like Siraj said, we would put you in good standing with the Lord Sombra here.
I'm learning a lot about what that would mean, and I thank you for your interest in my success, albeit mildly, potentially self-serving. But I can't hold that against you. I have seen much worse done to our kin from more powerful individuals. So I suppose, happy to be able to provide some sort of assistance.
I, for one, appreciate that. Even were it not Lord La Sombra's wish, inshallah, I still believe dealing with the person who unleashed a demon on your city is probably the kind of message you want to send to the people in it. That such things will not be taken lightly.
Oh, I agree. That is um, that is an act of chaos that can only breed damage and destruction, and what must be dealt with accordingly.
Then it seems we are of one mind, yes? At least on this matter.
I think so. I think so. It's a good start.
Well then, let me take no more of your evening. I am glad we have achieved this, and my future prince, I certainly hope. I wish you the best on tomorrow's duel, though I suppose wishing you luck is naive. It is your skill that will bring us victory tomorrow evening. And after that, well, I suspect we will have a few very busy nights making a certain sire very, very angry.
Absolutely. Well, good luck in your continued efforts, and it has always been a pleasure.
And that Siraj will, sort of back himself out of the scene. Exit stage left. Hopefully not pursued by Bear.
I don't know what about him makes me feel this way, but I rather like Siraj. He's got many admirable qualities.
It's always good to have an air of positivity, especially one of demon hunting sort.
I know a lot of demon hunters.
Nor do I.
Nor does Siraj, gonna be honest, but hey.
I mean, you know, no time tells you to find a demon. You know, you gotta, or demon summoner. You gotta do it.
Exactly.
Well, we can anything you need. You need a space to train, practice. We can get those beds. Get a bed set up however you want. However your ideal sleeping arrangement when that can be accommodated. Food, blood, we can be arranged. Anything that will keep you in the best condition for tomorrow. Just consider it a calling, and I'll bring it to you.
I've done trainings of many sorts for a very long, long time. And one night of training will not make or break tomorrow. There are things that I have done tens of thousands of times that I can do just as easily as it might be for one to draw breath. So all of the things that I intend to do, I have done thousands of times.
But not for this, though.
Some things will be different.
That's
But as far as what I can contribute, that will remain the same.
just a little hint. Tomorrow, try to show some enthusiasm for what you're doing. I get that the solemn is admirable. Don't want to appear too ostentatious, but they will react better to someone that considers this more than one battle that they must go through. And in some ways, you're also playing for them, so think about that as well. Think about it as future planning for your reign.
Then the best thing I can give is to show them how I deal with obstacles.
Mm-hmm. If you want to lean into that as much as possible, that would be effective as well. Just show them that you're willing to fight for the opportunity to rule over them. That your heart's in it, 100%.
Those that are ruled desire a particular brand of leadership. Unfortunately, that is a facet of the individual, but without that, that's when mutinies occur. I know that much.
Exactly. And a little bit of showmanship goes a long way here, so. If you play it right, you might be immortalized in all sorts of literature, arts. So think about that as well.
Noted. And then he'll look outside to see, like, gauge how much longer there is until the sun comes up.
Maybe an hour or so by this point, because travel out. For Marozia had to go to visit Rosalinda, then out
A
to
busy night.
then back. So busy night. So the night is coming to a close.
Mm-hmm.
All right, cool. Then Tybalt will look around, and you could tell he's trying to, like, all right, where am I gonna be staying? But he won't say that. I I don't suppose
There we go, Mike. Oh, yes. Well,
I don't want to trouble you, but the sun is coming up soon, and I will need a place to
the
rest.
staff has made the arrangements, so well, we certainly don't want. Certainly, when the jewel will not be won by someone who is turned to ash by the sun. So,
So, okay. Then I will see you tomorrow night.
victory tomorrow. Good luck. No luck. You'll do it. You'll win.
I've been hearing a lot of that. Thank you for everything.
Have a good rest. Be restful and strong for tomorrow.
And he'll whatever the accommodations might be, slip into those accommodations and attempt to sleep as quietly as he can.
Um, so we're gonna pull back from Marozia's villa as Tybalt and Marozia make their way to wherever they're planning to spend the day in sleep, protected by both Marozia's guards and her door. Because, as Krellin noted, the door is the greatest obstacle to any TTRPG players in any game. I want to go back to Suraj for a moment.
Yes.
Where are you going when you leave Marozias?
I mean, he'd probably be heading right back home. Not really planning on any major misadventures. Not intending to, but yeah, he'd be heading back home.
Can I get you to roll me a perception alertness, please?
Yeah, I suspected something like along those lines was happening. All right, let's see.
I mean, just because you're walking around late at night by yourself in the dark.
Oh, that's fine. That's fine. Let's see.
That's really good.
Reroll that 10.
Oh wow! Oh boy!
So
All
four
right.
successes.
Still one. Yeah.
With 4 successes, again, the night is heavy in the air. You see more of the buildings have been have guards stationed at them. Some of them more attentive than others, but most of the public buildings seem to be more guards on the city streets than one might expect. And but as you make your way back to your abode, you will notice 3 things. your shadow, which, is unique
Mhm.
and special, is distracted. Usually your shadow is doing whatever it wants, right? Just chilling in the background, occasionally making social commentary by, making funny faces at whoever you're talking to. Not that they can really see anything because it's a shadow and distinctive features are lost, but, you know it and the shadow
I
knows it.
know. I know it. Yeah. And we have ourselves a nice little chuckle after.
Exactly. But now it keeps looking around, almost behind you, above you.
Mm-hmm.
There's something off. You would smell
Mm-hmm.
this is going to be hard to describe, but go with me. Palermo is a
Mm-hmm.
city on the sea, on the Mediterranean. It is September. The worst of the summer is over, so you are no longer smelling salt water and heat rotting seaweed, which is a very distinctive smell, and if you've never experienced it, bless you, but for those of us who have are very familiar with that smell. It's like 100-degree heat on seaweed that's washed up on a shore is just special.
Yeah.
So it shouldn't be quite, it hasn't been as pungent in the last couple weeks. But this night, there's no smell of salt water or seaweed at all. And the last thing you would notice with those 4 successes is a movement, a distortion of the shadows that's kind of running parallel to you as you move. Like if you're on one street going towards the water or going towards your abode, the parallel road, right, that's a block over, there's some distortion to the shadows that's kind of keeping pace with you at a parallel, but not on the same street that you're on.
All right, so it sounds like I'm being followed. Lovely.
That would be a reasonable determination.
Great. I would like to find a way to lose this guy.
How
Or
would you like
the
to do it?
guys or thing. Well, I have, let me see, what exactly can I do? Because I do have obtenebration at a pretty decent level.
Mm-hmm.
I think there's a couple of things I can do. Let's see. All right. So I would like one of the things I can do at the higher levels with level 4 of Tenebration is basically effectively create illusions, create shadowy illusions. I'm trying to do that trick where basically, I walk behind something, and what keeps walking after is my illusion, as the real me sort of, stays in shadows.
Mm-hmm.
So I would like to try and pull that off.
So I feel
Looks
like
like for Nightshades, it's well, the official roll for Nightshades with plus occult difficulty 7, but I don't know if there's anything extra I would need to do for the entire
so I think
production
so I think
there.
what it would be is manipulation occult plus your tenebration dice, difficulty 7.
Like that. All right, let's do that. So manipulation plus occult, you said, right?
Mm-hmm. And then add your tenebration dice.
Got it. Okay. Damn, wait, really? Okay.
Oh wow. Ooh.
Re-rolling those tens.
Yep.
Oh, nope, that's not a die type. So no more successes, unfortunately. But
Yeah.
still one. Well,
Well,
depending. Well, the
7.
difficulty on the is 7 would be for that. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 minus 1, 4. Yes.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yep, -1 is 4. Yep. So 4 successes. Yes, you can do this, particularly because is so dark and it is so late at night, and there are shadows cast by pools of there's the pools of light cast by the torches, but they're going to be intermittent at corners and
Yeah.
street.
So it says here they can roll perception plus alertness diff 9 to deduce that they're not real. And the extra successes normally let me create more shadows, but I really only need the one. So
What is it? Perception
I guess
plus.
perception plus alertness at diff 9.
Yeah.
Oof, that was close.
Oh. Oh.
Oh no!
There's only one success.
Yeah, true. Still,
So you're
I
still
want them
good.
done. I want them damn done. But yes, okay. So yeah, Siraj basically kind of like presses up behind a wall where he can kind of see and keep control of his little shadow illusion as he tries to see if he can get a glimpse of who. First of all, see if they're still following the illusion, if they fell for it, and then if he can also get a glimpse at who it might be.
Okay, so now you can roll perception alertness to see if you can see them, right? Because
Yes.
they've fallen for your trick. The question is, do you see
Right.
them?
Exactly. So perception, that's 5d10. Ooh,
Oh
damn. Okay,
boy.
well, at least I get to
Whoa, what
reroll
the?
the tens.
You re-roll those 2 10s because right now you only have one
Yeah,
success.
yeah.
You have
All
2
right, there we go.
successes.
Hey.
2 successes. You see briefly a figure, not on the roadway as you expected, but on the rooftops, traveling along the parallel of the row of houses to your right. And I can tell direction. And it does pause at a moment and then kind of lets your illusion be the leading. It's not trying to get too close, but it is distinctly following them. It is a. With 2 successes,
Mhm.
I will let you ask 2 questions about this figure that you see. Because
So,
you have perfect dark vision, so it doesn't matter.
right, yeah, the figure hiding in shadows doesn't really help it that much. I mean, the main thing I want to know is I know for a fact because I was literally told that the children of Hakim will are will be in touch.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to figure out, oh, is this one of them? Or is this is this unrelated? Is this related to Prince bullshit, or is this related to actual important things from Lord of Sombra?
Uh,
So that's the I don't know. Like I said, if it would be possible for me to be able to tell from manner of dress, from I don't know if that's a thing I can tell, but it's what I want to know.
so you, I don't know that you would be able to tell if they are children
Mhm.
of Hakim, but you are able to tell that this particular individual is a La Sombra.
Mm. Well, that's embarrassing for them. Then falling for one of the oldest tricks in the book. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but at the same time, like, hmm. I mean, I'm gonna I guess let's keep this going. He's following my illusion. Um, is there like no? I guess it's just kind of keep it going throughout the scene. So scene's still going. So I'm going to uh I want to see what this guy is doing. I'm going to present vulnerability. I'm going to have my illusion effectively turn a corner and go into a place where it's like, aha, if somebody was going to strike, this would be a great place to go ahead and strike. And I want to see how my tail reacts.
So, as the camera kind of pulls back, so those of us from the audience can see, we can see Siraj kind of hidden in an alcove around a corner in his own darkness as the illusion of himself proceeds down the street with this shadowy figure along the rooftops following just a slight distance. And then you get to a corner where there's a brief pause. It's a narrower street. It's this kind of alleyway, not a dead end per se, but definitely a quieter street. And it comes to just the point where the edge of the house would mean that the individual would either have to jump the alleyway to keep going, or jump down to keep on. And you can see as they.
No, I'll even present a tiny bit of like extra bait in this. I'll have the illusion kind of like pause in the alleyway and kind of pause, like adjust itself, like, oh no, my shoe's coming loose, kind of thing.
Yes,
Like, oh no, he's downright distracted.
Yeah.
Like make it as tempting a target as possible.
So you see this figure pull a knife. You know, that slight glint of what moonlight or torchlight there is, and then proceed to jump down. How martially aware is Siraj?
Not very, not very. He's got 0 in brawl. He's not a fighter, not a lover either. Um, he's he's just kind of there, really. So no, he would have no real knowledge of like, oh, that's Aikido or something like that.
Yeah, this isn't even that. So you watch as the individual jumps down, and then with a knife, just kind of attempting to land and stab at the same time. What you would notice immediately, and we're going to roll to see how effective they are at stabbing, because, they are stabbing through an illusion, is they aren't attempting to use any shadow attacks of tenebration.
Interesting.
But they are very obviously a Sombra, right? They were using the tenebration to kind of hide themselves as they were following you, but they are not as they're attempting to, stab you.
Great. All right. I mean, yeah, they're going for it. I've got 2 choices here. One is make a run for it. Ooh, that's not a great roll on their end.
They did not.
Oh my god.
Oh no! I didn't say they were great fighters. I just said that they're tempting us. As they stab, kind of land and stab downwards. But you have an illusion, right? It's not physical. So they kind of stab through, expecting to fall on something, and there's nothing there, and they just kind of fall with the knife into a kind of roll that ends up with them, somersaulting and eventually getting up, but they're slightly disoriented. So you have
Great.
It is your turn to take an action.
Yeah, it's like on the lower cat, sweetheart. So, great. I have one trick, and I'm gonna keep using it because I just noted I have 0 dots in brawl, but I do have dots in obtenebration, and he might not be using them, but I certainly am. I would like to activate the level 3 of obtenebration, Arms of Ahriman, and I'll spend the blood point and make the roll, and see how many successes I get, because each one of those is going to give me a 6-foot long dexterity 4, strength 4 tentacle that pops up around this guy. So let's see. Spend the blood. Oh, I probably should have. Okay, never mind. There we go. Great. It's that time. My lighting just turned bisexual. That's how you know. That's how you know this is going to happen. And let me make my roll. It is rolls. Oh no, it's not a good roll for me. Never. I'm going to spend willpower on that roll. And let's see. Actually, wait, no, it is. I do have melee, don't I? Don't have brawl, but I think I do have melee. I don't know. It actually is a good roll for me. Never mind. I should have carried a sword. Sorry, manipulation plus melee difficulty 7. So, oh. Oh, that's
Ooh,
one,
wow.
2, 3, 4 successes. So that's 4 strength, 4 dexterity, 4 tentacles of shadow appear around this guy.
Wait,
And
stop,
each
stop.
one,
You have 4 tentacles and 4 limbs. Siraj is officially an octopus. Thank you. Moving on. Just had to be noted.
Yes.
Siraj is the original Doc Ock. It's okay.
And yeah, they would yeah, they would proceed to try and restrain this guy. This troll.
Cool. Do they have to roll for the restraint? Because I mean, you rolled to get them, but so they have to.
So I rolled that roll was
That's
to
to
create the
create them.
tentacles. So now there are these 4 dex 4 strength 4 equivalent things that I guess I control from round to round.
Yeah, to
And
use
their
as
first action would be to basically try and I'm not trying necessarily. I mean, I'll hit this guy, no problem. Let's but the main goal is restraint.
Restraint.
I want to talk to this guy.
So that would
Yeah.
be a strength brawl. So we know they have
Yes.
4 strength, but they don't have a brawl, right?
Yeah. Uh, yeah. Let's see here. So each tentacle has 4 health levels, does not face wound penalties, soaks damage, blah blah blah. Can undertake. They use dexterity to attack and do strength bashing damage. Okay, here we go. They may attempt to grapple a foe, again using dexterity to hit and constricting for strength plus 1 levels of bashing damage if they succeed. So I guess they just roll dex.
There's
Roll those
X.
4
Okay.
die,
So all right. So there
and
you
if
go.
they hit, it's strength plus 1 levels of bashing damage. So yeah, I'm just gonna. I guess we're gonna try and bash this guy down into submission. All 4 tentacles. So I guess that I'll make the rolls for them.
Yeah. I'm going to roll his
4d10,
attempt to get
okay.
out of the way.
Cool. So that's 1,
Oh boy.
2, 3, and 4.
He fails.
Yeah, yeah.
He fails. So it doesn't really matter what your roll is. He is not.
Yeah, so it looks like all my rolls are good. Yeah, are
Yeah.
good hits. You want me to? I mean, that's basically. Let's see. So 2 successes on one, 2 successes, no, 1 success on the other, 2 successes and 3 successes on the last one.
Are you trying to cause him physical damage or just restrain him?
I mean, I'm trying to restrain him. The rules say like attempt to grapple, and then tells me how much damage that does. But
I mean, he's grappled.
mean,
If you want, I will say
yeah.
he's at half.
Yeah,
He is officially at least bruised. He is significantly bruised
Yeah.
because you do damage with it, but he is also
yeah.
grappled.
So yeah. So before we anybody has a chance to really say that I've seen this anime and I know where it's headed, Siraj would basically come up behind this guy and literally sort of whisper in their ears like, "And why, my child, are you trying to kill your brother?"
But you are no brother of mine, heathen. And he's going to attempt to break the
understand.
grapple.
No, fair.
Right.
As well he should, because I'm about to fuck up his day.
Yeah.
So
He's
Or night,
not going
rather.
to succeed. He's only got 1 success.
cool. Yeah, no, now that he's made his intention clear, I just needed to check that. I will Siraj will, simply take a step back and go as the tentacles begin to squeeze. He raises his hand and begins to apply pressure. "One chance to tell me who sent you."
The general sends his regards.
Cool. Yeah, with that information in mind, Siraj will cause the tentacles to squeeze for all they're worth. I have no problem with, ripping this guy limb from limb.
Just
He
roll.
was coming for me. When
Yeah, he was
you
coming
come
for
for
you,
the king, you best
and
not miss, and he
you're
missed.
already grappled. He failed to get out of the grapple, so
Yeah. So yeah, tell me how you want to handle this. But
so I
Siraj
would just
has
say
every
he
intention
failed. He
of
failed the
destroying this guy.
yeah he failed to get out of the grapple. You can choose however you wish to. Um, you know,
Like
describe how
Siraj
you
would.
kill him. End his
So Siraj's
existence.
first. Yeah, once the he gets the only answer, and that look on the guy's face that sort of tells him, okay, that's the only answer you're going to give me. This conversation is over. Siraj will sort of raise his hands and start slowly closing his fists, and this will cause the tentacles to start wrapping even further around him. The first one wrapping around his head and mouth to muffle him
Mm-hmm.
should he begin to scream, which would be understandable, as Siraj will then proceed to have the other tentacles break each of his limbs in turn before, making sure that it hurts. Again, you tried to kill me. You say don't take it personal, but it is. It is. And he would, and throughout all of this, his head would be bowed and he would be uh, sort of praying, but it's not a prayer for forgiveness, nor is it not necessarily a prayer for the soul of this creature in front of him, because no, once you are one of the dead, you are no longer capable of remorse and redemption. Um, so he himself has none. He is instead in Arabic praying his thanks to Allah for the opportunity to cleanse the night of of yet another damned sinner, as he then finally, after having caused that pain, broken those limbs, focuses on the tentacle that is still wrapped around his head and just starts to twist and twist until there is a separation.
One of the
And
things.
as he would I assume sort of go into dust,
No,
he'll
he
kind of step
doesn't.
back. Or yeah, how exactly how would this go?
Oh,
Yeah,
no, no, that's your one small problem here, Siraj. As you
mm,
rip this guy's head off with tentacles, you realize he's young.
mm,
So you have a body.
mm, mm.
He does not turn to dust after he is killed. And
Well, that's a shame.
now you have a dead
Mhm.
body without a head in a city currently being under guard by the members of the Inquisition.
Delightful. Um, well, the good news is Siraj didn't get any blood on him. In fact, he didn't have to get his hands dirty at all. Um,
But there's a lot of
so,
arterial spray.
oh yeah, no, this alley is fucked.
The rats did it.
Yeah. So, I mean, he'll first of all he'll take a moment and with the remainder of his the time that he has with his powers, like kind of like let the body slump and then just direct the tentacles quickly to just kind of rifle through his pockets, loot the body such as it is, just in case he's carrying anything that is of interest. But he doesn't
This
spend a lot of time on it. It's just kind of like rifle his pockets quick
The
kind of thing.
only thing he's carrying is a large set of wooden rosary beads.
Yeah,
Mm.
those are common as dirt around here.
And he
So
is wearing a scapula though.
cool. Um,
For those of you who don't know, the scapula is a old school Catholic tradition where you wear an icon of the crucifix and an icon of the Holy Family on a leather string, and they kind of like go over your head on one on each side of your, like one on your chest and one on your back. And theoretically, you're not supposed to take them off.
yeah, so I was gonna say I'm gonna take that off. I'm gonna take that off him. Siraj will sort of have one of the tentacles just snap it off and hand it over to him, and then he will he's just gonna try and kind of like not even gonna do a great job. He's just gonna like, all right, let's just kind of get this out of the way. Let's just shove the body off to, into a corner, kind of out of sight. Um,
Hmm.
and then with that, simply kind of shroud himself in shadows and, you know, keep going kind of in the same direction that his illusion was seen going through, with the intention of just like going home. Like he knows like this is gonna be bad, and also hopefully somebody else's problem. Maybe Tybalt's tomorrow, depending on what how his job interview goes. Who knows?
Gotta
But
gotta solve a murder.
yeah, good news. I know who did it.
We
Um,
are the same. It's like Tybalt, you have the suspects. You have the suspects, not suspect, but the perpetrators in there. Who's are helping you for both cases.
but yes, Siraj would basically, antennas up, and perhaps even more alert than he was before. Now that he has 100% proof that the general is out to get him, and but otherwise continues on his way home.
I mean, the general is dealing with issues. It's hard to be the leader of the Reconquista.
True, true.
And a Ventru who is kind of the number two person too and wants to be the number one.
But alas, number two, shame.
So you will make your way safely home. And the day will pass. And night will fall. I have one question for each of you. As night falls and the hour approaches, how do you all make your way to the appointed temple of the remains of the Temple of Vesta that is just below the creepy ruin of a keep that Tybalt is living out of? Does Tybalt and Marozia go together? You don't have to know these things.
I mean, sure, yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
and I feel like given the information that he's been given, like walking into an arena, like the entourage is important, is
Mhm.
what he's learned.
Ooh, so who is among your entourage?
Um, Marozia, um, if we can link up with Siraj, um, and then if Siraj accepts, also the uh, Duardu and the unnamed accomplice with the green turban.
Yeah, I'm gonna say Siraj would definitely, especially after the previous night. Yeah, it sounds like a good idea to walk in groups and maybe be seen with the 7 foot tall vampire. My friend, my
This is
friend.
what we're all we're both have this like yes, friend, big. I can't fight, but look at this giant man.
Yes, look at the very big giant shiny. You have to go through him to get to me.
Yeah.
Are you sure? Yeah, I see where this is going.
As if I hadn't just like horribly destroyed an individual the night before, thus proving, even to my own player, that I'm not as helpless as I thought I was.
No, not
Um,
as helpless as you
but
thought you were.
still gonna hide behind the 7 foot tall giant vampire.
But
Uh,
it's always good to know, not that Tybalt in character would know. It's always good to know that eventually you got a friend that can summon some shadow tentacles from the ground.
Listen, I got one trick. I'm real good at that trick though.
the shadow tentacle monster is very useful.
Very.
So, Tybalt, as you make your way like a champion entering the arena, uh, Duardu is there kind of acting almost like your squire, carrying your weapons for you, you know, the other tall, big individual here. His companion is acting like Chaucer in A Knight's Tale, announcing you, praising your greatness, trying to get the crowd that's there. And there are about another 15 vampires that are hanging out watching this. Rosalinda is over to one side, you know, kind of also playing the crowd kind of thing, and is like, you know, using periodic moments to, you know, kind of cheer and clap when your unnamed friend, we can just call him the child, for a variety of reasons. When your unnamed friend just, you know, starts making witty jokes about, and in this coming now, our future prince, who leads and will lead us to greatness as great as his own shadow. How can you not say that the man will be great when he stands head and shoulders above all others? Both figuratively and literally. You know, he's playing to the crowd. George is standing in the middle of the space that is the arena, which is like there's a small, so a Temple of Vesta is always built the same way. It's a small rotund, you know, round space with an oculus, so a round domed ceiling that has a hole in the middle so that the smoke can go out, but there is a ever burning hearth on it, and there's a number of columns around it. So he's kind of standing on the steps leading up to the columns that would surround the hearth. It is lit, but none of you need to make frenzy checks for fire. You're all far enough away. It's that level of like, this is just providing light and a moment. He's standing there with his own sword out of the sheath and pointed downwards. He has been given the title of referee for this event. And Bernardin enters, you know, like a minute or two after you, riding in on his horse. His armor is polished, he's very shiny, he's holding his helm, he's waving to the crowd, he's also playing to the crowd a little bit, being a little bit flirtatious, if a venture could be flirtatious. One thing that was noted is that you're not to be using, like, ability disciplines at the moment, so he doesn't have awe up, but it kind of looks like he wants it.
Trying to manifest it just by sheer will.
Yeah, it's like,
I mean, it certainly looks like he needs it.
Yeah, kind of. Maybe. And the gang girl that you all met, with the pale skin, the pale hair, not quite an albino because the eyes aren't red, but almost. He stands next to Servatius, and they're both kind of like a little off to the left of George. He's kind of standing around, like hovering around Servatius, acting almost like Servatius's bodyguard, as Servatius has a large leather-bound book that he's holding with a quill in one hand and making notes, as if he's to make an actual historic record of this moment for the entirety of the city. And George, when everyone kind of comes in, Tybalt, the bastard, too, and he kind of gestures to his left side, as if summoning you.
He'll approach and stand there until something is asked of him.
And he'll kind of then gesture to Bernardin Veron. And Bernardin is going to come and stand to the other side. Kindred of Palermo, these two vampires will now fight for the honor of being your prince. We have agreed to standard rules. No. Only physical abilities. You are to keep it within the bounds of the temple grounds. Avoid damaging any of the onlookers if possible. And avoid true death. Surrender is always an option. Lord Tybalt, do you agree to these terms?
I do.
Lord Bernardin, do you agree to these terms? But of course, these are... I do, he says. And now... Ready? Fight! And he kind of steps back, letting the two of you at it. So, what is your... Roll just straight dexterity. Tybalt.
Dexterity, nothing else.
Mm-hmm. Because that's going to be your initiative. You can reroll that 10. Technically, you succeed before more than he does. So you get to make the
Sweet.
first attack.
Get him. Get him.
So he's brandishing a thick, well-kept, shorter Viking sword, and then a wooden round shield with with the iron in the center for your hand to hold it, and he will strike hard and fast with his broadsword.
Okay. Very important question. Do you have celerity?
I do have it, yeah. We're not allowed to use it, right?
No, you are. You're allowed to use any physical ability.
Okay.
Oh,
He-
okay.
The rules are you're allowed to use any physical ability. You're not allowed to use any mental abilities where you can stand like
Okay.
a Ravnos can't stand there and make you see your worst nightmare and then, manifest that so you can't move. But they're, so you can use celerity and theoretically he could use potence.
Yeah.
Or
That
fortitude,
is something that Tybalt also has, is potence. So he will as soon as it is given the go, his demeanor changes super suddenly, almost as if the air vibrates around him, where he almost becomes predatory in nature and lunges forward with his broadsword.
Okay.
What would you like me to roll?
So that is a strength melee.
Okay. Okay.
You gotta be kidding me.
So
You gotta be kidding me. Oh my god.
you don't have any successes, but it's not a botch. Just purely by luck, that's not a botch.
Too fast, too furious.
Yep.
Um,
And if you have celerity, you can take an extra action.
I have 2 dots in celerity. Does that grant me 2 extra actions or just 1?
No, it's just 1. It does grant you extra speed, but the celerity gives you an extra action.
Okay. And then after missing that first one, he'll swing around, stepping out to the side, rotating his body 360 degrees, and coming down in a spin, trying to target the area between the helm and the shoulder for another broadsword strike.
Yes, our dear friend Benardin is a classic sword and board, long sword and full plate.
Okay.
Oh, that's better. 1, 2,
It is better.
3 successes.
Okay, and then do I add potence on top of that?
Yeah, well, let's see if he can parry you. Because he's taking active parries, which means he's going to try and use the sword to...
God damn it.
Ooh.
One, 2, 3, 4, 5. To your 4.
Is this too late to use a willpower?
I'll say no. You can use a willpower
Okay,
to get
do
an
I-
automatic success.
Yeah, I'll do that.
Because I like having it fun. So it kind of it's now you guys, I think it's one of those you swing down to go to string at the break of the helm and the neck, and he kind of pulled back up into parry 1, which is the most useful parry of all time, particularly in this time, and has now got the two of you are now in a blade lock.
Sweet.
So he's gonna try to then use that blade lock to push you out and swing down at you at the same time. He has 4 successes. No, 3 successes.
Okay, and how?
3 successes.
And then to defend, what are those? What's those rolls?
Oh yeah, it does. Hope is correct. It does. If you have 2 stats and celerity, you can take 2 extra actions. I'll just use that for the next round. But it costs blood to activate each round.
Okay.
What? So, are you active parrying?
What does that cost?
It
Is that an additional action?
not really. It is. No, it's. No, you can reflect. You can just roll the appropriate defense.
Okay.
Yeah. So, are you dodging or parrying?
I'll probably try to parry with my size.
Well, I mean, you have an extra.
d-
You have a. If you have an extra action, so you can take in. Oh no, you can attempt to abort, but aborts are complicated. So just if you're attempting to take an active defense or a passive defense is basically what it is. If you're trying to parry with your sword, roll like a strength melee, and see if your successes
Okay.
outweigh his. Because your successes would subtract from his successes. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. Oh, you're gonna strike.
Hell yeah. So as he tries to counter below, he'll take his round shield and sweep the blade away, creating an opening for a thrust to the shoulder, like right between where the pauldron and the chest plate are.
So I have a vitally important question. What kind of weapon do you have?
Broadsword.
But just a standard broadsword, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
your broadsword is. I just need to check a thing because. Because there's a whole chart on what your damage is. Where's my chart? Where is your chart of what the damage is with the... Okay. Okay. Here we go. Finally. Bastard sword, broadsword, or greatsword?
A one-handed utensil, so probably a broadsword.
Okay, so broadsword
Unless
is your
I'm
strength
large enough
plus...
that you'll
You're-
allow
you're-
me to wield a two-handed weapon with one hand.
Yeah, you are a
I don't
giant,
think
massive
so.
bastard. Literally, actually. Your damage is strength plus floor lethal damage.
Strength dice plus 4.
Yeah, so however many strength you have, plus
Mhm.
4 to lethal.
And then does potence get added on top of that?
Yes, if you have potence.
I doth.
Yes. And I'm trying to remember what the add-on to potence is. What is the add-on for potence? I think it's 2 or 1, or is it as many dots as you have in potence?
I think it's a dice for as many dots as you have.
Yeah, it's dice for as many dots as you have in potence. All right, so how many? So here's my vitally important question: are you trying? Yeah, it gives an auto success on damage. So you're going to add 4 plus how much is your strength? Oh, it's not.
Strength is 4.
So it's 4 plus 4 is 8. Plus how many potence do you have?
3.
3. So vitally important question: are you trying to kill him? Well, you aren't supposed to be.
Not my intention is not to kill him. My intention is to send a message.
I mean, you are at a point where you are sending a very lethal message. So how many successes? You got 2. 1 plus 4 is 7. Plus 3 auto successes is no, 1 5 and 3 is 8. So yeah, you're at 8 lethal damage.
I'm targeting the shoulder. I'm just gonna try to fuck up that shoulder as much as possible. Like I didn't that this was not a neck strike. This was a
Mm-hmm.
right like perfectly landing right through the plates of armor. Sickening crunch. Uh blood spurting everywhere. Um and then I imagine the loss of use of that arm.
Yeah, it's like that's the question: is are you trying to
Like
take the arm
immediate.
off, or are you going to remove the arm, or is it just
Rules didn't
removing?
say anything about maiming,
No, they didn't.
just avoid true death.
Yep, that's all it
So,
said. Theoretically, if with enough blood you can recover from the loss of arm, in theory.
yep. Well, I mean, he accepted the challenge.
He did. Is this his shield arm or his weapon arm?
This would be his right arm,
So
whatever that
his-
is for him.
So his blade hand. He
Mhm.
is also he is a Ventru. He does have fortitude. He can soak some of this. He's not all the way out. Fortitude is a thing. So as you go to stab and kind of take his arm off, you feel like he just, and you can see his like muscles ripple in a way that's like building himself up to push out the blade just a little bit. He manages to soak 3 of that. So his fortitude to your potence is about equal, which is like, yeah, he has to roll to do it, but
Yeah. Would I be able to use the last round of my celerity?
Mm-hmm. To do an extra attack, yeah.
Yeah, I'll spend a blood to do that. Oh, no, not all of it. Um, and then I will
Well, he
rip.
doesn't actually manage
Whoa.
to. He does not manage to soak any of this.
Oh boy, not a
Whoa.
single thing.
No, he botched.
Oh yeah, that's not a good time.
Oh
That's not a
no.
good time for
He
him.
it's one of
Oh,
those.
it's a good time.
He went to ripple to kind of hold the fortitude, but it was just at the wrong moment, so it actually hit the ligament and the artery instead of the muscle that he was trying to push it towards, and it causes even more damage than he expected. So he has now
Um,
lost function of the arm. He is also
Ooh.
bleeding, almost bleeding out. He will drop his sword and fall forwards to his knees.
um, and then Tybalt will look at him and ask, "Do you submit?"
Oh, god damn it, you had to use the words. He's a fucking venture.
How much of a venture is he? We're finding out today.
I mean, it's a botch. So I'm going to
Ugh.
rule. I'm going to rule with the botch that he is so out of it that he just says, "I yield, my lord." He doesn't mention
Oh, that's
anything about
worse.
submission. He just says, "I yield, my lord," and acknowledges you as his superior.
I asked if you submit, and he'll double down on asking that question.
Ah. Okay, now he's got a little bit moment of clarity. Okay, so he's failed. He says, "I yielded, my lord, is it not the same? That is what we are taught. To yield is to submit."
Then say it.
Yeah, pride is.
Say it for all to hear.
"I submit to you
And
as
then
prince
he'll
of
turn
this
around.
city." And that's
He'll,
what he
he'll
says. That's it.
he'll turn around in a gladiatorial stance and like, um, say it for all to hear.
I mean, he says it, but then he passes out. Like, he is at that level of blood loss. He is out.
And then he'll sheath his sword and then get help taking the shield away from him. Um, and we'll continue to watch to see if any of his supporters come to aid him.
Oh no, none of them are coming to aid him because you are now the prince. Dwardu will come up to your shoulder and like look to you to as if to ask permission before he turns to offer assistance to Benardine.
Oh yes, please. This was not war. This was a formal trial. Please do what you need to do to help him.
And he'll kind of nod and then push his hand into the wound and hold it there as he like bodily lifts Benardin in full armor up over his shoulder to kind of lift the wound up as well and then carry him off the field. And George will come up to you and gesture, "Palermo, this is your prince."
And then Thibault will do his best. Another gladiatorial, like raising his arms up fast and staring down um, uh, uh, all those in attendance.
Mm-hmm. What does Saraja Marozia do in this moment?
Originally, I was going to say that I was going to be watching the people around in case anybody was going to interfere, but this all happened very quickly.
Yeah, it did. This
So
happened very, very
yeah,
quickly.
So like,
exactly. So Siraj will, as he was seen as a direct supporter of Tybalt, came in with him and everything. So there may be some attention on him, so he's got an act to keep up. So he will just kind of like lean over slightly to Marozia and say, not quite in a whisper, it sounds like Tybalt one, yes?
decidedly, yes. And she'll give a
Excellent.
goofy smile.
Excellent. That's my prince. That is him. That is
It's
him.
like
I
loud
knew it. I
clapping.
knew it. Yes. But yeah, otherwise supporting my prince.
And with that, it's where we're going to end for tonight. We have a new prince in Palermo.
Hooray.
Yay.
But we also have a lot of problems in Palermo.
Here's your paperwork, Prince.
Exactly.
Fill it out. Look at
Isn't there someone else to take care of this?
No. You now. But
Yeah, it's me now.
thank you everyone for being here. Thank you all for following along. Thank you for these wonderful fun times. Thank you for my players for being here. We're going to go around in reverse order, let everyone tell you where you can find them, and share some love, something they enjoyed about tonight. And then I'll do my spiel at the end, because things are going to be interesting. So, Dan.
Hey, folks. So first of all, as always, I'm Dan. You can find me as Uncivilized Dan pretty much on all the socials. I also stream here on Twitch pretty much every day. I do indie tabletop RPG reviews here. I do this, which is fun. I'm also part of the Fandible podcast, which we've been doing for over a decade now. Nominated for an Emmy, did not win. Proudly Emmy awardless podcast, fandible.com. And as for tonight, yeah, this was great. I had a freaking blast. This new prince, I got to horribly murder somebody. Always a highlight of my evening, really. Um, and I'm excited to see how we're able to, because I have no doubt we'll succeed, how we're able to just resolve all this in the following 3 nights. Uh, Congrats to the prince. I need you to drop everything and focus 100% on this one thing.
Pay no attention to the murder. That's all. All right. All
No,
right.
no, 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 no murder. We can deal with the murders later. If you know what, after 3 nights, 3 more nights, I'm still around to deal with the murder. I can tell you
Yeah.
exactly who did it. Um, but yeah, no, but this is great. I had a lovely time. I had a lovely time as always with my fellow players. Thank you, Prax, for running this. Yeah, excited to see what comes next.
Indeed. I'm looking forward to all of it. And then next up, hey Lynn, how are you? How's life going for you?
I think good. Things are looking good, but things are still messed up and bad. So, well, things change. You know, the we can fall further now. That's the only thing that's changed. Good for Tybalt. Now Tybalt has to be Prince, which is, we'll see. We'll see how this is. And we have to find that awful Luvigo, the man that summoned that demon. Absolutely. 100%. But hey everyone, I'm Lynn. Gremlin pretty much everywhere on the socials. You can find my art there. And next time you'll see me, hopefully it's on Tuesday for on Wander DMs for our Batman game where we are three vigilantes. No, starting vigilantes in a Batmanless city, and we have maybe found a den of organ harvesters. So we might have a fight on our hands this next episode. So fingers crossed that things go well. As well as this did today, as Tybalt just fucked that guy up real bad. And yeah, I love tonight. I love playing with everybody. It's just so much fun, and there's so much like we're all problems to each other. It's great. I love Siraj. I love like the like curiosity and like the Because even though like there's a certain amount of joy, even though like you know you got a very severe like time limit, but gotta find that demon.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Oh, it's not the demon that's the problem anymore, though.
I mean, not the demon, but the demon summoner. Of course, yes,
Yeah,
that
yeah.
awful
Uh-huh, uh-huh.
demon summoner.
The person who the traitor that Lord Lasombra is not
Yeah.
happy with.
Yeah. They'll find him, hopefully.
But thank you for being here, Lynn. As always, I love every minute when you get to be on the table with me because it brings joy. Thank you. And I'm here for more of your shenaniganry next time. And last but never least here, hey Billy.
Hello.
You now are Prince of Palermo.
Well, Tybalt is. I do not possess the, well, maybe also like Tybalt, the level of adult responsibility for a leadership position that's strong. So will this be a Shakespearean tragedy? Probably. Um, Speaking of, yeah, we're a little before his time, so we can't really directly influence um, those happenings quite yet. But maybe if we live long enough. Yeah, this was a blast. I'm a very I love combat in games, and this is a very cool combat because I just love rolling d10s better than d20s for everything. Um, and I just like how all of this works. And I'm built this character to do exactly what he just did, which was like end combat very, very soon. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and now we're going to deal with the ramifications of that, because I'm sure nothing bad can happen now that everyone knows what he's capable of. Man, this was a good time. Love playing with you guys too. I also love how like this little team is coming together in terms of like how we have problems. How do we get them done? I have to say this is the most like proactive team of characters that I think that I've had a character involved in. So that's really, really cool. Um, I'm trying to get shit done. Love it. But yeah, that was a blast. If you like internet stuff, I'm Bill of the Forest. I pretty much only stream here. Um, well, I guess if you're big on marketing, I'm a Prax exclusive streamer. Um, uh, but yeah, this was a blast. I had a great time. Thanks for doing this.
Joy. Thank you for being here as always, and thank you for bringing all of your fun to my channel. I appreciate it. Hi everybody, I'm your friendly neighborhood Prax, at Dear Jadonman on Twitter, or Prax the Bard over on Instagram, Hive, and Blue Sky. Being kind of trying to be more active on all three at the moment, and seeing where life goes. Thank you to my players for being here. I'm sure that nothing else will happen that will go horribly wrong for you all next week, because something happened in the Team Low Clans session last week that's going to have a very interesting impact on you all in 2 weeks, because everybody's in Palermo now. So now we've got more people causing wonderful mischief in this city. I'm sure nothing is going to break beyond, my stress levels and brain. It's fine. But thank you all for being here. This is always a joy, and I love having each and every one of you at my table. It brings so much fun and uniqueness, and I can't wait to see what happens now that we know certain things are happening. But if you missed out on any of the sessions, you can check them out here on YouTube, where there's a nice neat playlist and everything is organized. All organized for your enjoyment. If you want to support the channel, there are multiple ways to do that. We have a merch store, and everything that you purchase through that goes directly back into the channel so that you can help. It keeps running the channel. You also could support me on Ko-Fi, because that's the thing I have. And again, all of it goes right back into running the channel, purchasing supplies, purchasing tech, all of the good things. I'm probably going to be back tomorrow for more climbing the Genshin ladder as I attempt to recover my Genshin ranks and just have fun. But we'll be back next Sunday for Team Low Clan and the chaos that they've now brought to Palermo. Just all the fun things are happening in this city. It'll be great. And then you'll also keep an eye out because some other things might be happening in the very near future that I am looking forward to sharing with all of you and bringing you joy for. But that's it for right now. Let us see if there's anybody up that we can raid. Oh. Yeah, let's raid into Punkle is doing some Deep Rock Galactic and having some fun times. And we should raid into them because Nyx is a great person. Or no, he just went offline.
Oh no.
Never mind. We're not going to do that. We're going to go raid into High Shelf Collective because they're playing a Mork. And gothic fun. So that's what we're going to do. And we'll see you next time. Bye. Mm-hmm.